Once disposed of correctly, our shampoo bottle enters the world, which probably comes to your mind when you think of waste management. It will be collected in a cart or a truck, sorted and either landfilled, incinerated, or recycled. Extended producer responsibility systems ideally make sure this journey ends in high-quality recycling, thus closing the loop. In EPR systems, the Producer Responsibility Organization contracts waste management service providers. These have the operational expertise to collect, sort, recycle, or dispose of the waste. Depending on the system, this can be the municipality, private operators, or even informal businesses and community initiatives. The exact arrangement of waste management activities is therefore defined in the contracts made between the PRO and those service providers. These contracts are shaped by the EPR's legal framework and should be part of a wider policy strategy to transition towards a circular economy. Firstly, the contracted waste management services must fulfill the requirements set out in the legal framework. These include specific and measurable targets for the collection and recycling of all included material streams. The enforcement of environmental standards must be ensured through the PRO's contracting to prevent the contamination of soil, water, and air through packaging waste. Social standards must ensure fair working conditions, including health and safety provisions, fair payment, and bans on child labor. Requirements may also be in place to ensure the inclusion of informal workers and small enterprises. Coordination through both governments and the PRO is needed in the development of waste management infrastructure. These systems are highly interdependent. Take a recycling plant. It is only viable if stable amounts of waste are separated, collected, and sorted, and the recycled plastics are integrated into new products. Indonesia made large investments setting up 981 sorting facilities while neglecting collection and separation at source. In 2017, only 10% of sorting stations were in use. At the same time, citizens will only separate their waste if it is also collected separately and recycled. Each of these steps will require large investments, which in turn require trust in the system's stability and development. These investments will be made progressively through EPR fees, private operators, and the public sector. They are dependent on supportive regulations such as building permits and land provision for sorting and recycling plants. This gives governments a major role in defining the development and shape of waste management systems. The development of high standards in waste management will be a progressive challenge. The necessary infrastructure and organizational development, as well as behavior changes across society, will not materialize immediately. It is therefore crucial to create scalable EPR systems with strong feedback loops. For example, the construction of sorting and recycling centers can only be implemented successively due to high investment costs. Setting up a complex organization, such as a PRO, takes time as it requires coordination between many different actors. Organizational structures and internal processes can only be established gradually. Gradual rollout also allows pre-existing waste management systems to adapt and become part of the EPR system. Thus, pre-existing knowledge and resources can be optimally used. Gradual rollout also allows for continuous evaluation and adaptation of the system as it develops. For example, pilot projects for separate collection systems can provide valuable information on the acceptance of separation at source or the compatibility of collection schedules with citizens' habits. The legal framework defines how quickly collection and recycling systems should be rolled out across the country. For example, in Chile, the EPR framework targets an overall recycling rate of 60% for household waste by 2030, up from only 1% in 2013. For beverage cartons, the target is set to increase recycling gradually, reaching 5% in 2022, 33% in 2025, and 60% in 2030. For plastics, the target demands a gradual increase of recycling, reaching 3% in 2022, 21% in 2025, and 45% in 2030. Let's continue following our shampoo bottle through the waste management system. After being thrown away, it will first have to be collected. In developing countries, this step usually consumes 70 to 80% of all waste management costs. Extending collection coverage to the entire country is a key challenge to EPR schemes. The specific mode of collection should be defined in the legal framework. This may include whether a door-to-door collection or bring-in system should be established, how far apart collection points may be, how regularly collection must take place, how source separation can be ensured, and whether municipal or private operators are responsible for collection. For example, Chile's EPR framework mandates a switch from a bring-in system to a door-to-door collection system, which should be gradually implemented until reaching 80% coverage. Waste management service providers are then responsible for the efficient operation of the specified system. The design of collection routes must ensure efficiency and accessibility for citizens. Small things matter. For example, in countries where you drive on the right side, it is of advantage to avoid left turns which risk getting caught in traffic. Routes should be operated by vehicles which are suitable for existing infrastructure. They should be easy to repair given local capacities. For example, waste collection based on informal workers in slum areas should preferably operate with carts rather than large trucks. Depending on local geography, transfer stations may be put in place to aggregate waste from neighborhood-level collection to larger vehicles. They then bring it to sorting stations or landfills. Additional tasks include the maintenance and cleaning of containers and collection points, the integration of collection and sorting facilities, as well as the documentation of services. Once collected, our shampoo bottle will enter a sorting station. There, all waste is removed which could disturb the recycling process, such as contaminated and misthrown waste. The remaining recyclables are sorted by materials and in some cases also by color. This process is largely defined by the contracts set up by the PROs and recyclers' material requirements. However, regulations apply. For example, waste imports must be kept separate from domestic waste as they are not covered by the EPR system and producers should therefore not have to pay for its treatment. In developing countries, sorting is often a manual process involving workers separating waste streams by hand. Supported by simple equipment, sorting facilities can offer cost-effective, high-quality, and labor-intensive sorting. They require little investment and maintenance. Plants can also be relatively small, operating in a decentralized system. The gradual mechanization of manual sorting facilities can improve the quality and quantity of sorted waste, while taking full advantage of the available worker skills. For example, the introduction of bag openers and magnetic separators can improve working conditions and ensure more accurate sorting of metals inside a largely manual sorting process. Our shampoo bottle will then be compressed into a bale and brought to a recycling plant where it is transformed into secondary raw material. It is usually sold to recyclers by the PRO or sorters themselves, generating income for the PRO and contributing to its recycling target. Recycling is broadly defined as the treatment of waste materials to replace primary raw materials. However, materials are almost always downgraded during the recycling process. It must therefore be clearly defined in the legal framework what constitutes recycling and what doesn't, as well as what quality recycled materials must have. This helps sorters, recyclers, and end users to gain security in what waste materials are needed and what type of recycled materials are put on the market. This diagram shows the continuum of recycling processes. The top loop represents high-quality closed-loop recycling in which primary raw materials can be substituted completely. At this quality level, an old PET bottle can directly replace virgin PET in a new bottle. Output material quality decreases throughout the next loops. Output materials are subsequently suitable for pots, pipes, and large solid structures, such as fences and benches. In the EU, the last process qualifying as recycling is feedstock recycling, in which components of plastics are used as chemicals in gasification or pyrolysis. Energy recovery or incineration does not qualify as recycling. Such definitions should be used to define quality targets which recyclers must meet within the EPR system. This can contribute to setting up reliably high-quality recycling infrastructure. High-quality recycling infrastructure relies on uncontaminated and sorted waste. Recyclers are dependent on the cooperation of packaging manufacturers, consumers, and waste management service providers. The PRO's coordinating role is therefore particularly important. Upgrading recycling infrastructure is necessary to eliminate contamination through leakages and ensure workers' health and safety. It also enables higher proportions of waste to be reused as secondary raw materials, as more materials can be recycled and recycling quality rises. Thus, the loop can be closed. Support through the EPR system is crucial to ensure stable material flows and investment security for recycling infrastructure. Not all recycling is profitable on the free market. Funding through EPR fees must fill the gaps and enable the recycling of as many materials as possible, including lower value materials. Still, not all waste can be recycled. Residual waste is sorted out at every step of the waste management process. As much value as possible should be retained from these materials. Only in cases where no further value extraction is possible, non-recyclable packaging waste should be incinerated or disposed of. This must happen in a safe fashion, eliminating its leakage into nature. The PRO is therefore responsible for ensuring that all waste management service providers it contracts incinerate or dispose of residual waste safely. I hope you enjoyed this module. The expert voices will help you dive deeper into the topic, and see you in the next video.